Hey, John here with Prime Studios Photography, and recently I've been researching and shooting with pinhole cameras to do a video on pinhole photography. And one of the cameras I've bought is the Holga 120WPC wide hole pinhole camera. So I figured I'd unbox it, show you guys what's actually in here. There's the actual camera itself. 0.3 millimeters f135, and that's the shutter button. Feels pretty good. It's got the quarter inch on the bottom, little bubble level, exposure guide. So ASA 100, that's like 100 ISO. There's no foam or anything around the edges to help keep it light tight. But that's typical of a Holga kind of camera. And look, it comes with a take-up spool, so you don't have to get that separate. And this is the mask. So this camera is supposed to be able to do two different sizes, 6x9 and 6x12, I believe. Yeah, 6x9, 6x12. That's actually what it says here. It comes with, looks like some pretty nice instructions. There's the other mask. So this would be 6x9 and 6x12. So I'll probably be using the 6x9. That's supposed to do, it looks like 8 photos on a roll. And if you did the 6x12, it'll do 6 photos. And it's got a little neck strap. This is your take-up spool, and it does say to load it in the dark and unload it in the dark, and that really has to just do with the nature of the camera. On the top here you can see a little slot, and the advanced wheel there has that same slot to turn it forward, so you just make sure that's in there and aligned. And then 120 film actually looks like this, so it's rolled up, and it's just film with a paper backing. It's not like 35mm film where it goes into a canister. It's just literally put on one of these spools. So you would put it in here after you undo this. It's got a little foam in there to keep some tension. And then you would pull it across. And actually, I have some paper backing right here. So this is from a previous roll of film, and this is just the paper backing. So it's very dark on one side, matte. And it has a starting point, but then it also has all these numbers. So it has numbers in different positions depending on what kind of camera you're using, and you use these numbers with this Holga. So it has this little red window, but it says 16 and 12. So that's actually for like a regular Holga 120 camera, toy camera. But the pinhole one, because it's doing 6x9 and 6x12, if you do 12, point this arrow at 12, you do the 6x12 mask, which is not this one, the other one, and you'll be looking through this window here at these numbers. So they'll, look like this. If you do 6x9, then you would point it towards the 16. And this, so far, is the part of the camera that's the hardest, but it's really important, is moving this arrow. So I recommend you take the door off and you just grab both sides, and you be kind of as gentle as you can with it, because it is all plastic. I'm going to do 6x9, so I put it that way. So if I were to load the film, let me just load the paper. Okay, so I just have the paper here, the paper backing as an example. You would pull it out like this. You would put this through the middle of the take-up spool. There we go. So because it's stretching out so far, you really don't want to go past this start here. And apparently you want to do this all in the dark. Okay, so then you're supposed to wind it forward until number 1. You keep going. So it gives these little circles, bigger and then smaller, so you know you're approaching the frame. So there you go. You line up to the number 1, which is upside down, and then you should be good to shoot. You pretty much always want to use a tripod with this camera. And when you're not using it, when you're not like actively taking a picture, you should have the lens cap on there just to make sure that, because I feel like the shutter mechanism is very easy to let light leak through when you're not using it. So only take that off when you're taking a picture, but remember to take it off. One tripod that I've been using a lot is actually this little one right here. And this is a Benro, and it's actually a tripod and like a selfie stick thing combined into one. But so far I've really liked it, and it's actually kind of perfect for this camera. But yeah, so you can use the level here, this bubble level, and then these lines indicate roughly your field of view. And this is 120 degrees. And 120 degrees is what you get when you do 6x12. 90 degrees is what you get when you do 6x9. So 90 degrees is a right angle. So imagine like the corner of a square coming out from this same point. So if I set them just like this, you can level yourself with the camera and you can see, okay, this is going to be the center of my frame, and these are basically going to be the edges. So that's how you line up, whatever you want to be in focus. Or in the frame, I mean. Everything's going to be in focus because it's a pinhole. So I'm definitely going to be using a wired remote like this one. And this is a plunger style remote, so I push it down and it'll activate the camera. And definitely it has this little locking mechanism. So I can turn this and pop this up. And when I do that and push it down, it'll stay that way until I push down this little disc, and then it stops. So that way I don't have to like hold it down during the entire exposure, because maybe I'm in a really dark place and I need to do an exposure of a few minutes or something, or I just really want to burn the photo in. It's really hard to overexpose on a pinhole camera. It's not impossible, but it is hard because the hole is so tiny. There we go. I know it's 0.3 millimeters across. It's f135, and that comes out to about 40 millimeter lens. You can multiply 0.3 by 135, and that gives you your focal length. 35 millimeter camera, that's something like 18 millimeters on a full frame, 35 millimeter camera. And that's at the 6x12, the 120 degrees. And then back here, so it shows what it feels your exposure should be, but this is very, very general. But there are some better ways to do it. So one way you can do it is you can use a light meter that has a spot meter function, which this one does. And this is an older Polaris meter, which they don't make anymore. So yeah, I can set my ISO at 100, and then I can look through this little thing here and do a spot reading, and I can go through all these equivalent exposures. So if I do an f-stop of 32, which is very, very small, it's saying half a second. At 45 at 1 second. But the thing is that this light meter, or your camera, which you can also do this with, your digital camera, is limited to f90, but this is f135. So it's like, okay, well, how? So I found this website, mrpinhole.com. It's not mine, but it seems pretty cool. It has this pinhole exposure guide. So you can go to that, and it can generate an equivalent exposure chart for your pinhole camera. So you can just put in the f-stop, which is 135. Oops. 35. And there it is. So here we have a chart, and it shows us different f-stops. So there's our f135. At f16, it's saying do 1/15 of a second. So I go to f16, 1/15 of a second, which is right there. And then go all the way over, so 5 seconds. So I took a light reading of the background here, and it's saying if I wanted a properly exposed photo of that at f135, I do it for 5 seconds, because that's the equivalent exposure to f16 and 1/15 of a second. It's going to let in the same amount of light into the camera. So yeah, this is awesome. This mrpinhole.com, you can just print off this exact thing or take a screenshot with your phone or whatever, and there you go. Use your DSLR, or you could probably just get a light meter app on your phone. It would probably work fairly well, because the exposure times are fairly forgiving. When in doubt, overexpose a little bit. Not a lot, but just a little bit. So remember, you can find links to all this equipment down below. I hope this video has helped you. If you have any questions, just let me know down below. Thanks.